students, in our program of Mission Mains, where we are doing the reverse engineering, means we are covering the entire syllabus through the question and answer format for the benefits of the student, because time is limited. So we are directly teaching the entire syllabus in a form of question and answer. So see, this is a question in front of you. Discuss the concept of shadow zone and how it helps in the understanding of interior of Earth. 15 marks question, it is of 250 words. Okay dear. So see, there are two basic things into this question that has to be dealt into your answer. So one is the concept of the shadow zone. That is the core part of the answer. Second thing is how this concept of the shadow zone helps in the understanding of second area of our interest here is the interior of Earth. See, right? So there are two areas of interest in this question. So in our answer we have to properly address that. One is the concept of shadow zone, and we have to link it further in the understanding of the interior of the Earth. So as before starting this topic, one thing I hope all of you should know, interior of Earth is divided into layers of different chemical composition and mineralogical composition. Similarly, on the basis of physical properties also, interior of Earth is divided into layers. So the question is basically asking how this shadow zone concept reveals about the layers of the interior of the Earth. Understand here? So see, before coming to the structuring of the answer, let's discuss about the concept of the shadow zone in brief, so that you will be in position to write a very good answer. So see, shadow zone actually it is that part of the Earth surface where our seismic waves are not recorded. So I have used the word seismic waves. Seismic waves. So in order to understand the concept of shadow zone, there is need to go into the background of the seismic waves first. So dear, you see the two words here. One is the seismic, second is the waves. Seismic, it does mean earthquake, right? And you know the second word is the wave. Wave is a manner of a travel of the energy. Like I am speaking, so the energy is traveling into this medium. Medium here is the air. So energy is traveling in this air in a form of sound wave. Similarly, light from sun to the earth. So light travels, light is a form of energy, you know. Heat is a form of energy, you know. So heat, light, sound, they travel in a form of energy. Heat, light, sound, they travel in a form of waves. So for traveling, waves require disturbance of the medium, right? Disturbance means the particles of the medium, they themselves don't move. They only oscillate at their mean position. Like consider this air. So in this air, there are small particles of the air. Minute particle or smallest particle is the atom, you know, which has a proper structure. So when I say hello, so energy comes out and it hit a one atom of the air. That atom of the air oscillate. Oscillate means displacement from the mean position but coming back to the mean position. Mean means original position. Like suppose this is a one particle. So as it get a energy, what happen? It simply starts oscillating, like up and down oscillation. Right? So it goes up, it comes down. It goes down, comes up. So this is its mean position. So at its mean position, it is coming back time and again. This motion is called as oscillation. Understand? And in layman term, it is a disturbance of a medium particle. So it is oscillating up and down like this way. Like you can imagine a pendulum, right? pendulum of your clock that is oscillating like this way. So time and again coming back to its mean original position. This thing is called as energy travel, that is a wave. So it can move up and down this way. So by moving up and down, it hit the next particle, means it transfer the next energy to the next particle. Now next particle also starts oscillating. By this way, this next particle hit the next one or transfer the energy to the next one. Now next also starts oscillating up and down. So particles are oscillating up and down, and they are transferring the energy to the next. So energy is traveling in this direction. So in this direction you can say wave is traveling, but particles are oscillating up and down. Such type of wave is called as transverse wave, isn't it? Transverse, so movement of the particle means oscillation of the particle is up and down, but how energy is traveling this way. So energy is traveling in this direction, but particles are oscillating up and down. So they make a 90-degree angle with the direction of the propagation of wave or energy. Such type of wave is called as transverse wave. Actually, why I want to explain this topic in detail, because waves, our seismic waves are also either transverse wave or longitudinal wave. So as per the basic concept of the physics, waves are of two type on manner of the travel of energy and the disturbance of the medium particle. One is the transverse wave, right? So this is an example of the transverse wave. Second is the longitudinal wave, right? So in the longitudinal wave, the oscillation of a medium particle is altogether different from the transverse wave. How? So here I give an example. When energy is supplied to the one atom, it starts oscillating up and down. There is one more way by which this particle can oscillate. What is that? Like suppose this is the particle. So as energy is supplied to it, it moves slightly forward, comes back to its original position, comes back in this direction, opposite direction, then comes back to the original position. So how? This way, this way. So as it moves this way, it hit the next one. So next also starts doing this type of motion. It hit the further next one, and next also start doing this type of motion. This is dear called as to and fro motion, right? It is to and fro motion or to and fro oscillation, but this one is called as up and down oscillation, isn't it? So energy travels in a medium by disturbing the medium particles either by up and down motion or either by to and fro motion. So if it is up and down motion, it is transverse wave, but if it is to and fro motion, it is longitudinal wave. Understand? So why I explain this topic? Because we will require it to understand the seismic waves. So I hope so the concept of the wave is understood to you. What is wave, how we travel? There are two type of wave. Now come to the seismic waves. See what happened. This is the you can say earth. Inside earth, whatever is the material field, you know, these are rocks. Suppose this is a one particular rock. This rock undergoes disturbance, vibration, as energy is supplied to it, or a energy that is stored in it, that is a potential energy. As it is in a rest position, so that is a potential energy. So as it starts vibrating like this way, it releases the energy. So the energy travel inside the earth in a form of seismic waves. Okay. So how we can define seismic waves? It is a mechanism of travel of energy inside the earth. Understand? So let's write simply what are earthquake waves, or you can say seismic waves. So simply speaking, it is a manner of travel of energy inside the earth, inside earth due to the earthquake. Understand? So there, dear, two type of seismic waves are there. Types of seismic waves. These are of two types. One is called as body wave, and second one is called as surface wave. Okay. This body wave is the mechanism of travel of energy inside the earth. Body means interior. So it travel in interior of earth. Interior of earth. Like consider this is earth. So inside it, below the surface, the energy is traveling in form of body waves. But what is surface? As name itself is indicating. So this is earth. So if wave travel on the surface of earth here, then it will be called surface waves. Clear? Now, the body waves, they are of further two type. One is called as P wave and second is called as S wave. Similarly, we divide surface waves also into two type. One is called as L wave, second is called as R wave. Right? P wave here stand for primary wave. S wave here stand for secondary wave. L wave here stand for love wave, after the name of a scientist who find out this wave. Similarly, R is Rayleigh wave. It is also after a name of a famous physicist, Rayleigh, who proposed the famous Rayleigh scattering principle. So these are after the name of the finders, but it is simply the primary, secondary. So as they are traveling inside the earth, so their understanding is important for the knowledge about the interior of the earth. So these waves you will properly discuss into the earthquake topic, but for the interior understanding these waves are important, because as they are moving below, they will give or reveal the information about the interior of earth. How? So how they give the information about interior of earth? For that, we have to understand the properties of the P and the S wave. So let's first see the properties of these waves. So properties of P wave first see. Primary wave. Number one thing, it is a longitudinal wave. Right? So as it is a longitudinal wave, like sound wave is also longitudinal wave. As I am speaking, so how the medium particle is disturbing? To and fro. So I say hello, air particle disturb to and fro. Hit the next one, pass the energy to the next one, to and fro. So this way, energy is traveling. Right? How we show the longitudinal wave in a diagrammatic manner in a physics? By this diagram, like this diagram. So this part is called as compression. Right? And this part of the wave is called as rarefaction. So our longitudinal wave move by forming compression. Compression means medium particle get close to each other. Rarefaction means they goes away. Come close, goes away. Come close, goes away. This way it moves like spring, movement of a spring. So if you compress the spring, then it is compression. If you expand it, it is expansion. So P waves moves in this manner. Right? So second thing is the propagation of P wave. Means how the P wave move, it will depend upon two things. Right? So one thing is the P wave depends upon the density of medium. And how? In fact, it is the speed. Speed of the P wave is directly proportional to the density of the medium. It means if medium is more denser, speed of the P wave will be more. If the medium density is less, speed of the P wave will be less. Understand? Second thing, the speed of the P wave also depends upon the compressibility of the medium. And how it depends? Speed of the P wave is directly proportional to compressibility. Understand? Compressibility means how close you can bring the medium particles. So dear, it is the solid whose particles are already close to each other. So in the solid, this compression is more. They can easily come close to each other. But in the liquid, particles are little bit away. Atoms are little bit away. So it is difficult to compress the medium particles. Here compression does mean atomic compression. Don't be confused with the physical compression. Like this pan, if I am compressing it, you can say, sir, it is not compressing at all. No, compression it does mean atomic compression, interatomic compression. But if you have some rubber band or some other elastic things, you can compress it. So it is a physical compression. Here we are concerned about the interatomic compression. So definitely it is a solid who has more compressibility. Liquid has less compressibility, and gas atoms, as they are very much away, so it is difficult to bring them closer, right? So compressibility of solid is maximum, then it is liquid, then it is gas. Same thing, density. So if density is more, like solid is more denser as compared to the liquid, right? So P wave travels faster into the solid, then slower into liquid, then further slower into the gas. So speed of the P wave is dependent upon density and compressibility. So by this logic, we can say the third important thing about the property of P wave, it can travel through all solid, liquid and gas. But definitely its speed will be more in solid, right? More in solid, less in liquid and further less in gas. That is our P wave. Now quickly come to the S wave. So in the S wave, important thing that has to be known, which type of wave it is. It is a transverse wave. Transverse wave. So its particle move up and down. So in the physics diagram, transverse wave is shown by this figure. Understand? So this upper part is called as crust, this lower part is called as trough. Means medium particle will move up, it is crust. If it come back to original position, goes down, it is trough. So it moves by forming crust and trough. That is S wave. So propagation of the S wave depends upon again the two things of the medium. One is the speed of S wave is directly proportional to the density, similar to the S wave. So dear, here you can compare the P and the S wave. Both are dependent upon density. It means if a medium don't have any density at all, then P and S wave will not move at all. Like vacuum, they cannot travel in vacuum. Neither P nor S. Understand? But second thing, the S wave is also dependent upon rigidity. Okay. How? So speed of S wave is directly proportional to rigidity. Now we have to understand what is rigidity. In Hindi it is called as kathorata. Like this pen. If I am applying a force on it, it is not changing its shape. This property is called as rigidity. Property to resist change in the shape when force is applied. So I am applying a force, but this pen is not changing its shape easily. This property is rigidity of this pen, right? But opposite of rigidity is flexibility. Like you can consider rubber, or like say this wire. This wire. If I apply force on it, its shape change. So it is flexible. This property of changing shape is flexibility. So it is dependent upon rigidity. More rigidity, more speed of S wave. Less rigidity, less speed. So solids are rigid things. But if rigidity is zero, S wave will not travel. It is very important. So S wave speed will be zero if rigidity will be zero. And which is the substance who has zero rigidity? Liquid and gases, the rigidity is zero. Like you can take the water. If you put water into a bottle, it will acquire the shape of bottle. If you put in some other vessel, it will acquire the shape of that vessel. Why so? So liquid or water is changing its shape very easily without any resistance. So rigidity of liquid and gases is zero. So they can't travel through liquid and gas. Understand? So S wave you can say travel through solid only. They can't travel through liquid or gas. Understand? This property of the S and P wave will be very, very helpful in understanding of the interior of the earth. Right? Let's see how. Then we will be able to understand the concept of shadow zone. So, dear, say this is earth. Inside earth, here, suppose disturbance is created, earthquake is generated. The place where earthquake is generated is called as focus. Right? So from focus, our P and S both waves are generated. So over the surface of earth, we have installed the one instrument. That instrument is called a seismograph. seismograph. It is a instrument which will measure the earthquake. Means it can measure the speed of the seismic waves, P and S waves. Even L and R also, but we are concerned with the P and S. Understand? So suppose from here P wave is generated. So P wave moves and reaches to this seismogram number A. From here P wave go and reaches to this seismogram number B. So as it reaches to this seismogram, so this seismogram will record its speed at different depth, right? At different time. So this seismogram has recorded its less speed here, more speed at this depth, further more speed at this depth. So we can conclude certainly about the composition of material. Same thing is this B. So this B will record the speed of the P wave at this depth, this depth, this depth. So if different speed are recorded, we can conclusively say that different density of the medium is present. So I mean to say, this seismogram will give the information about this portion of the earth. This seismogram will give the information about this portion of earth. So all seismograms will give the information about interior of the earth. So whenever earthquake comes, we measure the speed of the P and the S waves at different seismograms, and by this long study we come to the conclusion about the interior of earth, right? So in the interior of the earth, the understanding is the different layers are there. Like this is the earth. So the outermost part of the earth is called as crust, that we have dealt in the separate question. Then this middle part is mantle, and innermost part is the core. So say this is mantle and this is core. Core is further divided into two parts. The outer one is the outer core, which is liquid in state, and it is inner core, which is solid in state. Now how we can conclusively say that it is liquid in state? Outer core is liquid in state by analyzing the pattern of the our seismic waves. So just for a while, let's interpret about the readings of the seismogram. So here I am writing interpretation of seismograph. Number one thing, seismograph tell us that from surface to approximately you can say 100 kilometer of depth, the speed of P wave is nearly 5.6 kilometer per second. Speed of S wave is nearly 3.6 kilometer per second. So by and large these waves travel with the same speed in this zone. Same speed doesn't mean density is same. So we can conclusively say that this is a one layer of the earth upper part, because here P and S wave behavior is same. So material is same. See, suddenly what happened in the next part? From 100 kilometer downward in the interior to the next 100 kilometer, means from 100 kilometer to 200 kilometer from surface, there is an increase of speed of both P and S wave. The speed get increased. Actually it is increased with a uniform acceleration. Acceleration means change of the speed, rate of increase of the speed. So speed increases uniformly with a one pattern. So that is observed in this zone. Now come to the third part. See, strange thing happens now. From 200 to 300 kilometer of depth, there is a slowdown in speed of both. So both P and S waves slow down. So we called this 100 kilometer zone as a slowdown zone. So now it is a question, why there is slowdown in the speed of P and S wave? Definitely it is due to the change of material. Remember our P wave, S wave, like go back and check over there, P wave and S wave, their speed is dependent upon density. So either density of the medium will decrease Or second thing is rigidity of the medium will decrease, then S wave will speed will decrease. Secondly, you can see P wave also. Either the density of material will decrease, so its speed get decreased, or compressibility get decreased. Understand? But believe that the lighter material will be below is hard to digest, because it is a law of nature. Lighter things will be above, denser will be below. Understand? So we cannot come to the conclusion that density is less. It could be, we don't know, but we are recording the less speed of P and S. But we can say about this, we can raise a question on it. It could be the less compressibility of the medium, it could be the less rigidity of medium. That's why speed get decreased. So it means nature of the material may change from solid to the liquid. Understand? Okay. So see, what is this? We will understand it later on, but certainly there is a change of the slowdown of the speed, so it is a slowdown. See, next now, important now, from 300 kilometer depth to the big distance, 2990 kilometer, a big distance. Again, this uniform acceleration is repeated. Means again, uniformly the speed starts increasing. So from this 100 kilometer depth to this depth, this could be a one zone, but its 100 kilometer part is behaving differently. You will further understand it properly. Now see the next strange thing. Beyond 2990 kilometer of depth, S wave is lost. Right? So let me write here. Beyond 2990 kilometer, S wave is lost. So dear, S wave lost indicate that either it is liquid or gas. But gas trapping inside the earth we cannot expect. Gases are very light. So as they found the place, they may come out from the interior and form the atmosphere of earth. So it could be the liquid. I am using the word could be because we are not sure. So it could be the liquid, that's why S wave is lost. Further, this is corroborated by the speed of the P wave. Right? Now see the next point. From 2990 kilometer to 5156 kilometer, only P wave is left. P wave slow down. So slowing down of the P wave and losing of the S wave certainly indicate that again there is liquid. Right? Now only P wave is left. So next point, see, from 5156 to the center, that is 6373 kilometer, S wave, only P wave is left. P wave speed increases. So it indicates that there could be the solid. Right? So that compressibility is more, so its speed get increased. Understand? So if we make a one graph of representing this, so how this graph comes out, see, towards this side we represent the speed of the waves in kilometer per second, and towards this side if we represent the depth, right, in say kilometer. So where are the areas of our change? 0 kilometer means surface. It is 100 kilometer of depth. It is 200 kilometer of depth. It is say 300 kilometer of depth. It is big one 2990 kilometer. Say it is 5156 kilometer. It is centermost 6370 kilometer. Right? So this is the centermost part of Earth, that is surface. Let's say toward this side speed is increasing 3, 6, 9, 12 and so on, say 15 kilometer per second. So these are the areas where change is occurred in the earth. So let's make a line over here. So this yellow line indicates say this yellow one. The yellow indicates a P wave, and this another color, say this green one, it indicates S wave. So let's see the pattern of the P and S wave as per the recording of the seismogram. First, focus on the P wave, yellow one. So 5.6, by and large same speed in this zone, isn't it? Then from 100 to 200 there is a uniform acceleration. Acceleration uniformly speed get increased toward this side. Then again there is a slow down into the speed in this zone. Then again this uniform acceleration is recorded, right? Then from 2990 0 kilometer to this one slow down into the speed, so speed gets slowed up. Again there is an increase in the speed. This is the pattern of the P wave. Now see S wave. So S wave from 3.6 kilometer, speed is by and large same in this zone. Then there is an increase in the speed of the S wave. Then there is a decrease like the P wave. Then there is an increase uniformly. acceleration with this one, but beyond it we don't find S wave. So no S wave here and here. So it definitely indicates it should be liquid. That's why S wave is not able to cross this zone. Right? This is the pattern of P and S wave. So if we compare it with the interior of the earth, so let's make a 1/4 part of the spherical earth. So these are the areas of the change. So this is a one layer where we can expect the change. This one, see this one, and then the big zone, then this one is the big zone. So this is surface toward this side if depth is increasing. So this is 0 kilometer, 100 kilometer, 200, say 300, big one 2990 kilometer, 5156, and it is 6370, centermost part of the earth. So dear, we can now conclusively say why P and S wave speed is same into this zone, because chemical mineralogical composition, density of this medium is same, behavior is same. That's why we can conclusively say it is a one layer of the earth with same physical property, same chemical property. From here to here, this zone, there is an increase in the speed of the P and S, but this 100 kilometer part is behaving differently. So it could be the one zone within which this 100 kilometer part is behaving differently due to some reason. Then it is a next zone where speed get decreased, and it is a next zone where speed get increased. Dear, you know, this part of the earth, uppermost part is called as crust. This 100 kilometer part. This entire part is called as mantle from 100 to 290 kilometer. But within this mantle, this 100 kilometer part is behaving uniquely. So we called this zone as a asthenosphere. Asthenosphere. It is within the mantle. So chemical composition is same as that of the upper and lower part of it, but its physical property is different. It is little bit viscous in nature, semi-solid in nature. That's why as it is semi-solid, so rigidity get decreased up, so P wave speed get decreased up. Right? S wave speed get decreased up. Compressibility get reduced, that's why the speed of the P wave get reduced up. Now, this part is surely the liquid, that's why S wave is not able to pass. So it is called as outer core, that is liquid into the state. It is solid, that's why the speed get increased up. It is inner core. Right? So here we have certain important questions, why it is liquid, why it is solid. So we will deal it in separate part, but understanding of the P waves helps, P and S wave speed helps us to reveal about the interior of earth. Right? So by this way, go back to the first slide, this is the question. Right? So concept of the shadow zone helps in the understanding of interior part of the earth. So in this 20-minute or 25-minute part, we have only discussed the interior part of the earth. Now, we will come to this shadow zone concept, and by that way, we will relate that and frame an answer, how to write this answer. So that is our strategy into this reverse engineering course, where first we will tell you the concept. Like I have tell you the concept of interior and interior here. So this is our strategy to cover the entire main syllabus, right? So entire 4 papers will be covered in such a way, it will be convenient, easy, as well as less time consuming. Moreover, you will get the answers, how to write the answers into your examination. So definitely this course will be beneficial for you. So rest things we will discuss in the classes properly. Thank you.